Good day everyone, we are students from STIA1123 Programming 2. In this video, we are going to see about Electricity Bill Manager which implemented using Java Swing. Now let's meet our team member YYY. I'm SANGKEERTHANA. We have Ko Junlok, C DEZ-MOND, Mark Shaven and Q Chifeng in our team. Focus of this program is first we see about user management where we add new user records with user ID, name and units consumed. Display all user records, search for a specific user by their ID and delete user records. Second, bill calculation. This will calculate electricity bills based on consumption using tier tariff rates. Third, graphical user interface GUI. This provide a user-friendly interface for managing records and displaying information. Incorporate buttons at text fields and text areas for interaction. Fourth, exemption handling. This will implement error handling to manage invalid inputs. 5. Object-oriented principle. This will demonstrate abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism within the code. Lastly, we will create and display UML diagram.
How we set up the panel and background for our GUI. First, we see about our main class, which is app. The app class contains the main method, which is the entry point of our application. It initializes our GUI by creating an instance of app GUI. Now let's see about our app GUI class. The app GUI extends JFrame, making it a specialized frame in a Swing application. Then, the implemented action list means this class will handle actions events such as button clicks. So here we can see we have the instance variables, and these are the components and objects used in the GUI. The main menu handles the business logic, while the Swing components such as J button and then J text area created the GUI elements. Next, the images for background and icons are loaded using the image icon, and then the My label holds the background image. Now we see about the frame setup. So here we can see we have set title, set size, set default close operation, set resizable, set location relative to, and set layout. So this will configure the gem frame, and then the set icon image sets the window icon. Here a J panel is created and set as the content pane. Then the panel layout is set to null for absolute positioning. So regarding the object-oriented programming, we can see the app GUI extends the JFrame, inheriting its properties and methods. This is a classic example of object-oriented programming inheritance, where app GUI is a specialized type of JFrame. Here we also use private fields such as My label and electric icon to encapsulate our state of object. Then we create instance of image icon and J label, which are objects that manage specific tasks like displaying images and labels. Next method overriding, although not directly shown here by extending the JFrame, but we can override the methods to provide specific functionality for our GUI class. So these are the part of codes that shows object-oriented programming principles such as inheritance, encapsulation, and object-oriented to create such structure in the GUI setup in a clear and maintainable way.
So now I'm going to explain about the button and the scroll panel. We have 5 main buttons here, and each button is created with a label using new J button, and we set the size and position of each button with set bounds. The buttons are added to the main panel using panel add. Each button is assigned an action listener to handle user interaction. And for the scroll panel creation, a J scroll panel is created with a display areas. For bounds and positioning, the scroll panel is positioned and size used in set bounds. And for transparency setting, the viewport of the scroll panel is made transparent using this code. And for the scroll panel itself is made transparent is using scroll panel set object force. For adding to panel, we use panel add scroll panel. That's all from me. Thank you.
So I will present about the action event. So for action event, if we press any add button, search button, display button, delete button, exit button, it will show a message entering system, and it will go to its method same as but except for exit button, it will show a message exiting, and it will show break the program. So for catch number format exception X, it will show invalid input, enter valid number, and error for any number input error. Same as extensions X, you will show an error dialog for any error. So for app record, it will show enter user ID, string username, and for enter username, if the username is not character, it will show a message dialog. Invalid input, please try again. Same as the number of units is the number of unit is not any number input. You show an invalid input, please try again. So after input for both for three of the input, it will show record added user for user ID word. So for number format extension as same as the up, it will show the error dialog for invalid number input same as the extension X. It will show a message dialog for any error occur for any other errors. That's all for me. Thank you.
Next, I will talk about source record method. This method prompts the user to enter a user ID to search for a specific record. It uses a dialog to get the input. If the input is not a valid number, it caches a number format exception and shows an error message. If any other error occurs, it caches the exception and display an appropriate error message. They ensure that only valid input are processed and any issues are promptly communicated to the user. The display record method is straightforward. It tries to display all records by updating the display area. If an error occurs during this process, it caches the exception and shows an error message to the user. This method is essential for presenting the complete list of records in the display area, ensuring users have access to all the data. The delete record method allows users to delete a specific record by entering a user ID. Similar to source record, you use a JSON dialog for user input. If the input is not a valid number, it caches a number format exception and display an error message. For other exceptions, it caches them and show a general error message. This method provides a straightforward way for users to remove record by ensuring input validation and error handling. We also input three images in this program. One is for frame background, one is for output area background, and one is for icon logo.
So now I'm going to present about the display part of our assignment 2 in the public class of FGUI in the add record method. If the user enter username in the wrong format, it will display if the input. Please try again. Same goes to the number of unit. Then go for the bill calculator class. In this class will calculate the calculation for each tire and include SST and KW, TBB and display it all out. Then go for delete management class. If the user that want to delete is found, you display the user ID has already been successfully deleted from the array. Else, if not found, you display user ID has not found. Then go for search and display management class. If the user is found, it will show out the data of the user. If not found, it will show out the output of sorry the data is not found. Then go for display record. If the size is 0, it will display no record found. Else, it will display a list of user record that include the data of the user. Then go for the running of the program. First, we show the display record when the data is 0 first. And when the size is 0, no record found. Then we first add record the user ID, for example 1234. Enter username, for example I enter invalid input of 123. You show invalid input, please try again. Then go for valid input. Then go for number of unit. For example, here I enter invalid input of Q2. You tell to try again and go for a valid input, for example 1400. And you will add the record for user ID of 1234. Then add the record. Then go for the function of search record. For example, I need to search for user ID that does not exist, for example, 1. You show the sorry, the data is not found, and go for the user ID that exists, for example, 1234. You show the data of the user ID of 1234, then go for display record, and you show the data of the user that exists in the record. Then go for a record, for example, enter user ID that does not exist, for example. Will show the user ID 1 has not found, then go for the record for user ID that exists. It will show that the user ID of 1234 has been successfully deleted. Then the list of user record has left only 1. That's all for the program. Thank you.
And this is our UML diagram. That's all for our video. Thank you for watching.